My name is George Guastello, and today I'll be talking to you about United States laws and effects on immigration, or more specifically, how recent immigration trends have affected communities, population growth, and diversity. My initial interest in this topic peaked from a summer job I had earlier in college, where I was given the opportunity to deliver beer around the greater Kansas City area. While doing this job, I was exposed to a number of different social groups that live in very segregated neighborhoods of varying races, cultures, what have you. And what I was curious about was how our current government laws affect these social groups who I've never been exposed to before. So, throughout my presentation, I will discuss my initial interests, which I just did, the migrant population growth within the U.S. and frequency of law reformation, government regulation of the migrant population, seen through self-deportation and naturalization, and the effects of current immigration laws and on migrants within the U.S. So first I'd like to talk about the population influx of immigrants within the U.S. So the U.S. foreign-born population reached a record-breaking 43.7 million in 2016. That is nearly 14% of the U.S. population. Also, undocumented immigrants make up 1/4 of the U.S. foreign-born population, being 10.7 million, or about 24%. Undocumented immigrant population has tripled from 1990 to 2007, and the influx of immigrant arrivals in the U.S. has actually slowed. However, the estimated U.S. immigrant population is expected to hit a staggering 78.2 million by 2065. The immigrant population is not confined to one social group. In fact, the top four are listed here as follows, being Indian with the most number of people, 126,000, Mexico coming in second with 124,000, China 121,000, Cuba 41,000. Currently, the three highest states in the U.S. or three highest states in the U.S. that have the greatest population of immigrants are California with 24% of the U.S. immigrant population, Texas with 11%, and New York with 10%. The U.S. recognizes that immigration plays a big part in the U.S. foundation. As follows are a few of the most prominent laws that affect immigrants in the U.S. today. However, as you will see as I go through, there are some reformations that will need to be made to these laws and regulations. First and foremost, I'd like to talk about the United States Refugee Settlement Program. Essentially, the U.S. accepts up to 70,000 and no more than 70,000 refugees per year. Refugees are accepted from only 5 different regions around the world, and only 49 out of the 50 states participate in the Refugee Settlement Program. Next, I'd like to talk about DACA, which is a much more sensitive issue. DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. DACA provides temporary relief from deportation to certain undocumented immigrants, not all undocumented immigrants. Since 2012, DACA has allowed roughly 800,000 undocumented immigrants within the U.S. to live without fear of deportation. However, no permanent legal status is granted, and it must be renewed every 2 years. However, as of September 2017, DACA was rescinded and will no longer accept new applications and will only protect current applications or current applicants for 2 years. That being said, there are some debates regarding the status of DACA and how they'll continue to go forward, but that remains to be seen. Next, I want to talk about state policies under Dreamer protection. So Dreamers are undocumented immigrants who are not eligible for in-state tuition for public colleges due to their documentation status. They are subjected to pay international student or out-of-state admission fees, which are vastly higher than in-state tuition fees. Undocumented students can also not file for student loans under the current immigration laws. They cannot do work study or many other financial assistances. Dreamers are provided in-state tuition to public universities in just 18 states. And seriously, we need to get those numbers up. As a result of many of these lackluster law reformations, we've seen a big change in terms of self-deportation and naturalization. So some interesting facts about self-deportation are that laws and policies that support self-deportation are set to discourage and deter unauthorized immigration. That's the idea behind self-deportation. However, instead it creates a sense of hostility between immigrants, both documented and undocumented, in the U.S. as a whole. Self-deportation has impacted many eligible immigrants' decision to naturalize. Laws and policies in support of self-deportation encourage racial profiling among immigrants, or at least many people say, and that's how it's being emphasized. Also, sub-federal immigration laws negatively affect immigrants' perception of U.S. citizenship. We aren't doing ourselves any favors by emphasizing a racist mentality. Next, I'd like to talk about naturalization. So as of 2016, 21.2 million immigrants were recorded as being naturalized citizens, almost 50% of the foreign-born population. Naturalized women outnumber naturalized men, 55% to 44%. And this is for a number of reasons. The most common region of birth is Asia, as of 2015. The most common country of birth is Mexico, as of 2015. The percentage of immigrants naturalizing is currently the highest it's been since 1995. However, the Mexican immigrants are among the least likely to apply for citizenship and the least likely to naturalize. So some of the resulting effects of this self-deportation mindset and the naturalization varying levels as a result of the lack of reformation with the laws are the damaging ties between the United States and foreign countries. This is really done by, as I said in the presentation, by stripping immigrants of their rights within the U.S. We see examples of this through DACA. Also, we are negatively affecting the perception of United States citizenship through laws and policies promoting self-deportation and giving immigrants who would like to naturalize essentially a bad taste in their mouth about the United States as a whole. Also, there is a decreasing number of eligible immigrants that are naturalizing, and this is because of lack of education and foreign assistance. Sometimes, on record, many immigrants have said that they have no sense of urgency to naturalize, and there's also, it's just too difficult of a process for them. So they never see the reasoning to do it. There are also minimal rights for undocumented immigrants at this time. Dreamers are not gaining enough momentum to make a lasting difference, and in terms of Dreamers, more states need to adopt that initiative so we can start taking steps in the right direction. Thank you.